gonna be a long video, so I'm just gonna hop straight into it. We are going to be discussing the best build of every brawler in the game. So, like I said, just getting right into it here. First of all, we got Shelly. Obviously, you're gonna want to use Clay Pigeon's speed gear because she is crazy in the bushes. Shell Shock, of course, gotta slow him down. Shield gear, and she just has a hypercharge, so. Nita, you're going to want to go Bear Paws here because no one really uses the shield one. Shield gear, Hyper Bear, this is kind of the heist build here. If you're not playing heist, I would go with Bear with me, but if you're... And then Pet Power, of course, boost your Bear even more. So this is basically the ultimate build for heist if you had the hypercharge, which I don't. But I'm not going to purchase it because they're a better pick for heist. But for me personally, both are good. For Colt here, this is more the 1v1 sort of gadget here. Silver Bullet, both, like I said, both are really good. I guess it kind of comes down to preference here. I personally prefer Silver Bullet because it's good in game modes like Brawl Ball, and it's just pretty helpful and useful. So you want to go damage and reload speed here, gear here, but overall in general, I'd say gears aren't they don't matter a whole lot because they aren't as game changing as gadgets and star powers. Magnum Special here I feel is a little better, and I mean with him though, really it's up to you. Stomper, do not use T-Bone Injector. I used it for a long time, and then I learned Stomper was better, and now I use Stomper, so I wouldn't make that same mistake as me. Just informing you there. Damage and supercharge gear. Like I said, though, gears doesn't really matter. Tough Guy, the shield's pretty helpful, especially for game modes like Brawl Ball. Brock, I personally use Rocket Laces, but Rocket Fuel can be very useful in a bunch of different, in lots of different situations, like in Brawl Ball if you want to break down that wall, or in Knockout if you want to get the lead. But I use Rocket Laces because I feel like it's very useful, especially to counter like an Edgar. Okay, then damage and reload speed. And I personally use Rocket number 4, but both are good gadgets. I mean, star powers, but I think Rocket number 4 is better. Primo. Listen, I got the best Primo build because I'm a Primo main, but Suplex Supplement, do not use Asteroid Belt under any circumstance. Not even in 3v3s, personally, I would always go Suplex Supplement, but okay, it doesn't really matter, I guess. Damage gear and supercharge gear. Like I said, gear is all your preference pretty much. But those are the two I use. I feel like El Fuego is overall better. Meteor Rush is kind of for more inexperienced El Primo players or people who just struggle to catch up to them. Which, I mean, it's good in lots of different circumstances. But I prefer El Fuego because it's more of a damage sort of star power, and I just feel it's a little better. Barley here, gotta go Herbal Tonic, gotta go probably, like I said, gears, not huge thing, but I normally when I really don't have any, I would normally go with like shield and damage if you don't know, but I feel like for him, that's kind of good anyway. Medical use, and then for star power, you know, just for the other thing, you know, hypercharge, she's got hypercharge. Tuning Fork, do not use protective tunes, really. It's pretty useless under a lot of circumstances here. And shield gear and Decapo, Screeching Solo, don't really, I mean, use it if you want. They're both probably equally good. Decapo is more of a 3v3 one because it does basically nothing in solo. This one's good in all game modes, but Decapo is better because it can, it's just, you know, if you like your teammates, you'll use Decapo. And then I'd probably go with a damage gear here just because. And Rosa, got to go Unfriendly Bushes because it's way better than Grow Light. And that slow can reveal the location of a lot of people who you don't know where they're at. It can slow everyone. It's got a lot of uses. The other one just drops a bush. Thorny Gloves, I don't even have the other one purchased because I just think this one's better. Gear again, of course you're going to want to go damage. No, you want to go speed here because Rosa is a very, very good brawler in the bushes, and she just does good in bushes. Any brawler that does good in bushes, you're probably going to want speed or vision for. Speed, vision, or of course the classic damage and shield. But yeah, for brawlers like Rosa, you're probably going to want to go speed and vision. For Jessie, recoil spring, damage, Energize, Pet Power. This is the optimal build for Heist, and I wouldn't change it even for another game mode, so I would just go with that one. You can tell that I'm an old player if I got a Belle, Mike, and the Red Dragon Jessie. Yeah, okay, so Satchel Charge. Satchel Charge. I'm just going to get back on topic here. Satchel Charge, do not use Fidget Spinner. Fidget Spinner is bad. Get that into your mind. Fidget Spinner is bad. Don't use it. Satchel Charge, way better. I've seen a lot of Dyna players using Fidget Spinner, and I know it may seem very appealing with all of the fancy little dynamite spinning around, but Satchel Charge, just so much better. Stuns are always overpowered in this game. I use Dyna Jump, but really, Demolition, I would say. Dyna Jump is the better star power, but it requires lots of skill to use. I would say Demolition for your average player here. For the average player is probably better. And then you just got to go that classic build with the gears. For Tick, 100% use Last Hurrah. I mean, I guess this was kind of down to preference, but I feel like Last Hurrah is better in a lot of scenarios. And it is definitely good defense against Edgar. Thick Head, well-oiled, and Shield Gear. For 8-bit, both are good. Extra credits I feel is a little better though, but sometimes it can be hard to hit the shots on your opponents. So, I mean, if you can't hit your shots that easily, you might just want to use the other one. Reload Speed Gear and Speed Gear. I don't really know. Oh yeah, Speed Gear is kind of crucial with 8-bit because he's the slowest brawler in the game. Boosted Booster is probably better. I would go Multi-Ball Launcher because it counters Edgar's, it counters Kits, it counters anyone who could jump on you. And then Damage and Reload Speed and Super Bouncy is also probably the go-to star power there. Tar Barrel, really another preference one, but I feel like Tar Barrel is probably better. Damage Shield and Steel Hoops because, you know, it's just useful when you're coming out of that super. Salty Barrel, a little more skillful of a gadget, but, you know, if you're trying to hit the shots, it's very useful as a wall too, so I would go with that one. Pet Power, it's kind of like obvious with any of these brawlers, with like the pets, you probably want to take this because it just makes them insane in Heist. And then Master Blaster and Damage. So really that's just like a damage penny build right there. This is a very preference. I'm just going to say preference here. I know plenty of Carl players, by plenty I mean one Carl player, specifically, you know who you are, who uses Flying Hook. Imagine using Flying Hook. You gotta go Heat Ejector. It's just better in my opinion. But both of them are very close. Very close. And Power Throw is better there. And I use the extra gadget because I really like Heat Ejector that much. But like I said, both are good, and both are good for different reasons. Both are good for different game modes, different scenarios. But I prefer Heat Ejector. Pneumonic Booster is better, and this one's rebuild's really only useful unless you're cheesing. I mean, if you're cheesing, it's really the only time that one's useful. But that doesn't, you know, you don't get a lot of opportunities to cheese that much in Brawl Stars, so I would go Pneumonic Booster on it, like, if you're just the average player. Supercharge Speed, very Bush reliant brawler here, so yeah, of course gotta go Speed. Counter Crush is kind of crucial here for Jacky, because it makes her very annoying to deal with and very hard to play against. Cookie Popper here, pretty useful for Gus. For the gadgets, or gears, or whatever they're called, for him, you probably just want to go Damage Shield, because you just, like I said, you know, not really a whole lot of better options for him right now. Spirit Animal probably would want to go with for star power. For Bo, Super Totem, I remember back in the day where it used to be just overpowered. Both are good. Super Totem I feel is a little bit better. Reload speed and damage. And whatever you're doing, use Snare Bear. Just use Snare Bear. It's way better. It is way better, and it just is. So just use it. If you don't, then whatever. Friend Zoner, both are very good. I personally prefer this one. It's good Edgar defense. It's good Kit defense. It's good defense against any brawler that wants to jump on you. This other one isn't bad either, but I prefer Friend Zoner. And it also gives you a healing too, I'm pretty sure. Damage and Hype And also, you probably just want to go shield here. Or maybe you would use the extra gear if you really find yourself in a lot of situations. Extra gadget, I don't know, where, you know, you get jumped out a lot. I use breakthrough. Speed zone is good in maps with very little walls, though. But majority of the time, you're probably going to use breakthrough if there's a lot of walls. Then, of course, you know, I feel like with Stu, you might honestly want to go speed because he's sort of, well, he's one of them brawlers. And then, you know, probably damage or shield because why not? Zero drag. I use zero drag over gasso heal, but really, it's up to you, I guess. And yeah, I mean, all of these are up to you. I'm just telling you my preferences here. Auto aimer, both are really good, but auto aimer is better. It can defend against any brawler who gets up close to you. It slows them. It gives you the advantage, basically, and it can allow you to get away. Ambush, I feel, is kind of the obvious choice here because Piper is very dominant in bushes with this one, and it, like, almost doubles her damage. Very useful. Very, I feel like, kind of necessary for her. And then you're obviously going to want damage, and you're probably going to want shield. Pam, honestly, I've used pulse modulator for a long time, but I honestly feel scrap sucker's better. I just feel like it is. You're probably going to want super turret. Any of these mythic gears or epic gears, you're probably going to want, unless it's like a Leon situation where you're not going to want his because it's not good. And then I use Mama's Hug, and then you're probably going to want damage or shield. She's already a pretty tanky brawler as it is, though, so it's not like it really makes a difference. Irresistible Attraction, the other one's kind of trash. And then if you really want to make him tanky, just use the shield gear, even though he already is. And you're 100% going to want to use Sponge, because the other one, just use Sponge. Alright, and then damage or shield here, damage and shield. Want to give him a little more health. You want to give him health, make him real tanky. Vitamin booster, obvious pick for Bibi. Shield and damage, and batting stance. For B, you're going to want to go Rattled Hive. I prefer Rattled Hive, and I feel it's better in a lot of situations. Honey Molasses can be good too, but I feel majority of the time Rattled Hive is a lot better and can help you win a lot more interactions. And the biggest downside to Honey Molasses is it's basically taken out in one hit. It's taken out in one hit. That's the biggest downside to it. Any thrower can easily destroy it. Any non-thrower can easily destroy it. It's just, it can be useful though, but I feel the other one's better. Insta B-load, and then probably damage here. And now on to Nani, another brawler I play a lot. I prefer using Warp Blast just because I'm not a huge fan of the damage output on Return to Sender, but both are good, and I've seen both be used a lot in different scenarios. I feel Return to Sender is probably more of like the pro sort of gadget, but I prefer Warp Blast because it helps me win a lot of interactions. Supercharge and Shield, or Supercharge and Damage. Tempered Steel, and now onto Edgar, everybody's favorite no-skill brawler. Let's Fly, personally. I personally go for the offensive sort of build, but if you're more of a defensive sort of player, you may want to swap around the gadgets and star powers and use the ones I'm not using. Sometimes I even see people use this build right here, which can be useful if you're really aggressive and like jumping in, but I feel like getting that pretty much instant super is helpful in a lot more scenarios. Supercharge, really just trying to, this is the farm super get damage build here. Damage, really just damage. Piggy bank, I prefer. Just the ability to break walls can be pretty useful with a lot of brawlers. So I feel like in Brawl Ball specifically, this is a very useful gadget to have. But if you use this one, then okay, that's fine. They're both good. And reload speed. Okay, I actually don't feel like this one's that good, but they're both kind of bad, honestly. Reload speed and business resilience, and then probably damage there. For Grom, radio check. Come on, just use it. I feel like it's better. Foot patrol there, damage and maybe speed, or damage and shield. Both are good. For Bonnie, Sugar Rush is better. This one, Crash Test, has been regarded as one of the worst gadgets in the game by multiple people. I've heard lots of people say it's really bad and not worth buying. Probably going to want to go supercharge with her black powder and then probably damage or speed, even though she gets a large speed boost when she lands on the ground after supering. Both are good. This is the cheese gadget, and this is just the better one. For star power, you're probably going to want freezing snow because it's just the better one. You're going to want damage and shield gear, and of course he has a hypercharge, but I don't have it. For Colette, this is the best build. Gotcha, shield, damage, push it is my preference here. Both are good. This is just the better gadget here. And now for Belle, we got reverse polarity is the one that I use, but nest egg, I should probably start using nest egg, honestly, because I feel like it's probably better. But both are good, and both are, I'd say they're both about equal. Nest egg's honestly probably better, though. I think I'm just going to equip this one. And then you're probably going to want to use reload speed, positive feedback. This one, grounded, I heard is trash. Probably going to want damage here. And then her hypercharge is pretty bad, I heard too, but I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe they buffed it or something. Chill pill, this one is literally known for, like, I think it could literally kill you at one point. So, like, if you clicked it and you were, like, below 50 health, I think it could literally kill you. You probably don't want to use chill pill because I feel like it's just better. And, supercharge, mad as heck. And then I probably go damage or speed. Maybe shield, both, all are good options. I use freeze frame, both are good picks though. Probably going to want to go reload speed, improvise, damage, maybe shield. Really, damage and shield are always going to be good picks. Magnetic field is probably going to want to be, it's the better one. Pulse repellent is pretty bad, I heard. Damage, hardy recovery, and then probably shield or speed because Sam is a short-range brawler, and short-range brawlers do good in bushy maps and do good with speed and vision gear. Objectively, this one is better, but this one is my personal preference. I've basically, ever since I started playing Mandy, this is always the gadget that I have used, and even though I feel Caramelized is much better, this one is the one that I personally prefer just because of how much I played her and learned this gadget, basically. You want damage, shield, as always, in my sights. And then for Maisie, disengage is really good for pretty much everything. And this one is insane in boss fight, but, I mean big game. It's insane in big game, but like when is the last time you've seen big game? So you're probably going to want to disengage unless you're really passionate about playing big game, a game mode that hasn't even been in the game in like a year. It's been a while. But yeah, that one's busted in big game. This one's busted in big game. But it has pretty much, I'm not going to say useless and everything else, but it's just not as good as the other one. For Maisie, you're going to want damage and tremors and then probably shield again. This one's really also good with that strategy where you hit super and then you dash. That's pretty good too. For Hank, water balloons, it's gonna blow. Then probably damage and probably speed too, because of just the way that Hank's build is. For Pearl, 100% use Overcooked. This one has been known as one of the worst in the game. I think it still is. It's just not good. Overcooked is way better, and I don't think I've ever seen anyone use Made with Love ever, so I wouldn't buy it. I'd say it's a waste of your coins for now until it gets reworked. Damage and speed and heat retention is better. Larry and Lawrie, order fallback, but they're both honestly kind of bad in my opinion. Order fallback can be really good in certain situations, but really, overall, I would say they're both kind of just eh. And then I use damage and shield and protocol protect, which was broken. I don't know if it still is. Really, both are good here, but I use stinging flight. Feel like it's a little bit better. Damage and speed and empower, very useful. For Barry, Friendship is great, is a lot better, but they're both good, and both are acceptable gadgets. Then you know me, gotta go Shield and gotta go Damage. Floor is fine, it's just way better. Everybody agrees it's way better. Beautiful skin, by the way, that I got here. Combo Spinner. Bat Storm. I actually heard that this could actually be bad because they take like less damage with it because they don't receive the full, like, the bats flying faster. Yes, you can hit them easier, but you don't get the full damage if they go slower, if that makes any sense. So I'd probably go Damage and Shield, or maybe Speed, because Mortis does do pretty good in bushes. Vision could also be useful. Coiled Snake, really that's kind of down to preference too, though. Support from Beyond is good on any map that isn't super bushy. I'd say it's better overall because certain brawlers, like throwers, have a really hard time dealing with it. But Psychic Enhancer is pretty good on maps that are very bushy. But overall, I'd say this one's a little bit better. I would use Shield and Pet Power, or Shield and Damage, or Damage and Pet Power. Healing Shade, I prefer it. Healing Shade because it's just really, really helpful. And I feel this one gets killed, like, they both have the same amount of health. But I feel like this one, it rushes in, and the other one just stays back. So I feel like it just doesn't die as easy, basically. And Pet Power, of course. For Jean, Lamp Blowout, I feel is better. People were saying that Vengeful Spirits was one of the worst in the game at one point. I don't know if people are still saying that, because it might have got buffed. I honestly see both of them as pretty decent, but I feel Lamp Blowout's a little better. Perfect for defending against Edgar. I'd probably go with this one. I'd probably go Magic Puffs, probably go Damage or Shield, and then his Hypercharge. Is it worth getting? I don't know. Phase Shifter, Speed probably, because Max is just pretty fast. Supercharge is, in my opinion, way better, and you're probably going to want to go Damage or Shield there. And for Mr. P, I can tell you what a Mr. P main would say. He would say, use Service Bell. He would say, use Pet Power. And he would probably say, use Revolving Door. He probably would. That's my build. And then probably Damage. And Garden Mulcher. Both are really good, actually. But I feel like Garden Mulcher, I don't know, honestly. I was just playing a 1v1 with this gadget the other day, and I feel like it's actually pretty good. But I think I'm going to stick with Garden Mulcher, because there's a little less skill required with it. Supercharge, Shield, Damage is also acceptable here. Overgrowth, and yeah, he has a Hypercharge, I guess. Okay, I used to use this one a lot, but I feel like this one is a lot better. And it can almost instantly kill someone, especially if they jump directly on top of you. You're not going to get that instant. Okay, well, I said instantly, but it'll take a minute, but it will kill him. And Shield and Damage and Malice. And Residue, Damage, Super Sticky, and Speed. And Cryo Syrup, Supercharge, Shield, Super Cool, and Lose Hypercharge is broken. I prefer Air Support, even though I know it's worse. I just find it a lot funnier to just see people running away from all the rockets or getting hit by them. But overall, Take Cover's better. And then you're probably going to want to go Damage and Shield. I use Field Promotion. Air Superiority or whatever is also pretty good, though. So I wouldn't blame you if you use that one. And then probably go Damage again. Unless you're using the rocket one, then you're probably going to want to get the extra gadget. For Buzz, Reserve Buoy. Don't use this one. Use Reserve Buoy. And then this is my build here. Eye Sharp. Even though both star powers are good, I feel Eye Sharp is a little better. He's very good in bushy maps, especially with this star power. So you're obviously going to want to go Shield with him. No, Speed, I mean. And Vision would also not be horrible. For Fang, Roundhouse Kick, Damage, Speed, Fresh Kicks. And for Eve, gotta go. Obvious choice. This one's trash. This one is one of the worst in the game, if not the worst in the game. This one is way better. 100% go with this one. Reload speed, you're probably going to want the quadruplets, and Happy Surprise is better. Backstage Pass, I prefer it. It can help me get out of a lot of rough situations, like if Edgar jumps on me or something. This one, it's just very easy to take out, and it doesn't even deal that much damage. So I prefer Backstage Pass. Vocal Warm-Up, one of the worst star powers in the game, if not the worst. Vocal Warm-Up, way better. Makes her almost unplayable without it. You're going to want damage because she's very weak and probably shield. And then for Otis, Fat Splatter, Supercharge, Ink Refills, and probably damage or shield. For not Willow, ignore Willow. We'll get to Willow. For Buster, Slow-Mo Replay, Damage Gear, Kelver Vest, and probably going to want the shield. Maybe the Gadget Charge if you really play him a lot. For Gray, Walking Cane is the obvious choice. I wish they wouldn't have nerfed Grand Piano because I actually liked it, but Walking Cane, it's a lot better. It's a lot better. For as much as I like Grand Piano, Walking Cane is a lot better. Damage, New Perspective is the obvious choice, and then Speed. No, not Speed. Don't go Speed. Go Shield. It doesn't really matter, though. RT, out of line, honestly. Out of line's honestly good. Hacks used to be way better. I actually bought this back when it was inline, and I've always been using it, even though inline used to be trash. I knew that they were going to rework it one day, and here I am with out of line, the better star power. Yeah, you're also probably going to want speed with him because he's very active in bushes. You're probably going to want quick maths because it's better, and then probably damage because RT is definitely a damage dealer sort of brawler. Willow, its dive can put you in a lot of risky situations, but I feel like it overall can save you more if you use it right. Damage and shield and obsession. Doug, extra mustard, unless you really want that team support. Definitely want speed with him, definitely want damage with him, and self-service. For Chuck, Ghost Train, speed, pit stop, and then probably damage or shield. Both are acceptable. Spiders, personal space is only used for cheese, and spiders is probably better overall unless you're a big cheeser. Damage and shield and digestive and hypercharge. Spiders goes pretty good with their hypercharge too because that's like four at once. Clipping Scream, the obvious pick. Gotta go damage, gotta go probably shield. Monkey Business is also the obvious pick for Miko. Then shield, hypercharge. For Melody, I use Interlude, but both are good. I used to use this one a lot, but I've heard that this one was better, so I started using it. And Health, I don't know why I have Health, honestly. Oh, no, this is the Crying Man build. That's why. This is the Crying Man build. Okay, extended mix and Gadget Charge. Yeah, that's what Crying Man uses. That's why I have that. 100% use Vanish. Actually, Repot is kind of broken now, too, because of the glitch where you throw it directly on top of yourself, and it makes your supers all throwable. But Vanish is better overall, because this one's going to get nerfed, and it's just not going to be good anymore. But Vanish will probably get nerfed, too, at some point. But I'd say it's better for now. And Gadget Charge. This is probably also like a Crying Man build or something, because I don't know where I'd come up with this build from. No, actually, I might have made this myself. But Vigilance here. And damage. I prefer Life Plant, but this Popping Pincushion is good Edgar defense. I feel Life Plant's a little bit better, though. And, yeah, you can definitely use Curveball. Don't use Fertilize. Sticky Spikes is probably better. Blooming Season, gotta use that. 100% go with the slow. Just go with the slow. The slow is better. Enduring Toxins, Extra Toxic, and Shield. For Leon, honestly, Clone Projector is way too predictable. Lollipop Drop is better, but I'm going to stick to using Clone Projector just because it's funny. Lingering Smoke, Invisi-Heal is a lot better, but they're both insanely good star powers, and both are, it's down to preference. Sandy, 100%. Oh, this is another kind of preference one, but I feel like Sweet Dreams is actually a lot. I feel like it's better. So I would use that one. Exhausting Storms, Healing Winds, and Damage. Really down to healing or damage there with the star powers. Fire Starters is good unless you're playing Hot Zone. Then you're probably gonna want the other one. Reload Speed, Sticky Oil, and Wild Flames. For Meg, gotta go with Joining Volts. Damage, Shield, and Force Field. For Surge, Power Surge, Damage, Serve Ice Cold, Speed, Gear. Serve Ice Cold, I'm glad that they fixed that problem that we were having with it. For Chester, Spicy Dice, Damage, Single Bellow Mania, which is brand new. Sneak Peek is gone. Wait, I thought Sneak Peek I thought they reworked it. Wasn't Sneak Peek I thought there was a new star power. Don't use Sneak Peek, okay? For right now, Sneak Peek has got to be the worst in the game. Don't use it. And damage, and then probably going to want to go shield. Actually, no, you're going to want to go Gadget Charge here. You're definitely going to want to go Gadget because that's just the way that Chester is. You're going to want damage. This one's Poison Mushroom still broken. If you use Replanting, then you look like an Edgar main. And shield is better. Gadget Charge probably is better there. Combo Shrooms is better, even though Mushroom Kingdom is kind of a cool star power. Combo Shrooms is better. And Kit, a new brawler that I've started to play a lot more and appreciate. This is Cheeseburger's broken with Frank and Brawl Ball. Cardboard Box is better, though, because it's basically freely on Super. Shield and Speed, you're going to want Speed with him because he lingers in bushes and he can deal a lot of damage. Power Hungry, this is down. Do you like solo or do you like 3v3s? It just depends. Power Hungry is definitely for solo mains, though. And I play a lot of solo, so I prefer Power Hungry. And then for Draco, 100% go Last Stand. Damage, I don't know why I have health. I kind of prefer Shield. But, and then Shredding. And that is the best build for every brawler in the game, according to me. So if you don't like my advice, then you go by your own personal preference and your own feel. But that is just my recommendation. Really, it's up to you in the end. And I don't really care what you do because it's your account, not mine. But yeah, let me know what you thought of this little guide here. And that's kind of all I got to say here. Make sure you guys subscribe and get me to 500, and my cat's in my bedroom now, and he wants something, so I'm gonna go subscribe. Bye.